Everything I am now is everything he wasn't. Hey Simplies, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning back in. If you're new here, my name is Michelle, also known as Simply Shell. If you're new to this channel, make sure you subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, turn your post notifications on so you never miss when I upload a new video. So I'm back again doing another sit down story time with you guys, and I feel like this is really important to share my story with you guys, and hopefully I will be able to help somebody to overcome the same challenges that I have faced in my life and how I overcame them. So we're gonna jump right into this. I'm basically going to be explaining my struggles of having an absent parent, specifically my father. I feel like sometimes we're just dealt a bad hand as children. You can't decide and pick the parents that you want. And sometimes it's just unfortunate that we're not blessed to have both parents in the household growing up. And I was one of those people who wasn't fortunate enough to have my father in the household. I grew up in a single family household with just my mother and my sister. And, you know, my mother did the best that she could to raise us. But I feel like as a child, it's so important to have your father and your mother in your life, because there's certain things that your mother can give you and there's certain things that you look for in a father figure. As a child, it didn't really affect me until I started to get older and I noticed that my father's presence wasn't there. My family basically surrounded with a lot of women, so that's all I've really seen, a lot of aunts, cousins, whatever. So I didn't really see anything odd about it until I started getting older and certain events popped up as far as graduations, birthdays, just celebrations, and I looked for my father to be there and he wasn't there. The hardest part for me was seeing other kids in school have their fathers be there, or even my sister have her father come around and be in her life. Not as consistent, but it was better than what I had, because I didn't see my father every single day. And I never really questioned my mother until I was a little bit older. And she broke it down to me and she explained as best as she could, you know, the situation with her and my father. And not one time did she ever bash him or try to fill my head with negative thoughts because her and him didn't work out. Sometimes things just don't work out. But I feel like that really played a big part in my attitude and my decision making in my adolescence years into adulthood. I had an issue with affection. I had an issue with receiving affection. It all was foreign to me, especially coming from a man. So a lot of times when I would date guys, I didn't know how to receive any type of affection. To me, it was just like, what are you doing? I never had any role model or men in my life to give me that, to show me what it is to receive love and to know that it's genuine, because my father was really never there. So I could never really get close or connected with a man because I felt like they were just gonna leave. And I started to see that a lot of times my relationships would fail due to my issues that I had with me because of my daddy issues, his lack thereof. And I realized that it wasn't something that I brought on myself. This is just what it was. My mother did the best that she could, like I said, but I feel like a mother is a nurturer. A mother is your best friend. A mother always takes care of you, but a father's role is so big. A father's role is supposed to make you feel protected. A father's role is to be there to, you know, tuck you in, to teach you certain things that your mother can't teach you. And I lacked that. So I didn't know. As I got older into adulthood, I started to really question it. And my father, I'll never forget, my father reached out to me when I was about, I want to say 17, 18, something like that. And he came to our house or whatever, and he just popped up. And I didn't even know how to take it. I didn't know if I should call him by his first name or should I call him daddy. It just felt so weird. Like, where were you all my life? Where were you when I needed you the most? Where were you where there was times that I needed you to protect me? I needed you to save me. What really helped me was being able to really express my thoughts to him. Although they came out in a way that I wish I didn't express it, that's the only way that I knew how to express it, was through anger. There was no other way for me to say it, because I just didn't understand why you would be so absent in my life. Why did I have to pay the consequences? Why did I have to suffer? Why did I have to shed so many tears because of your negligence and your absence, your selfish decisions. Regardless of what a mother and a father go through, I feel like the child should never have to suffer. And that's what's wrong with this world today. A lot of times relationships end on bad terms and the father leaves the child as well. That should never be the case. That should be two separate categories. This is a life that you created, so why should the child suffer because you and the mother can't work out? Once I was able to express to him my thoughts, I expected a better result from it, but instead, his reaction was defending himself. His reaction was placing blame on my mother. It was not even worrying about my feelings, how hurt I was, how broken I felt. And from that day forward, it really woke me up. It made me feel angry. It made me look at all men like they were nothing. It made me feel like I could never really get close to a man or express myself to them because the main person that I needed in my life, my father, really didn't want no parts with me. I asked him and he couldn't give me an answer. It was always just place blame on my mother. So after a while, that pain of not having your father there is a pain that you can't explain. It's almost like you have an empty feeling, an emptiness in your heart, and you never fully feel complete. And that's exactly how I felt going into different relationships. I had ulterior motives a lot of times when I would date men. I felt like I would just date them for a certain period of time, and then if I felt like I was catching feelings or they were getting too close, then I would just nip it in the bud because I just never trusted anybody. I just never knew what their motives were or what they really wanted from me because I was never shown any example of how you're supposed to be treated from a man. A lot of times, you know, I would just be angry. I would be angry, and I found myself in situations that I didn't like, and I found myself hurting other individuals, hurting other guys that I would speak to. And it was sad to say, I was getting a rise out of it, knowing that I had a guy wrapped around my finger with my words and my beauty, and I would just kick him to the curb when I wanted to. It was almost like self-satisfaction. It felt good to do that, only because I was yearning for love from my father that I didn't get. And I still couldn't understand why he didn't want to be part of my life. What did I do to deserve this? And as I got older, he popped in my life here and there, and I would bring it to his attention, like, I don't care about the materialistic things because my father was very known for that. You know what I'm saying? His lifestyle was totally different, and he was always out and about doing his own thing. But when he would come and he would pop up, very seldom, he would always bring me materialistic things. And those were the things that I didn't require because I can always get a pair of shoes. I can always get a diamond bracelet. I can get a necklace. I require time. I require affection. I require quality time. And quality time is something that children need, adults need, to make them feel important, and I didn't get that. So it took me a long time to accept it. Once I accepted that my father was never going to be the father that I wanted, I was okay. But it took years to actually get through it because you're never going to really feel completely whole. But it wasn't until I met my husband who actually opened my eyes and showed me what love is and how to receive it, and that it's okay to be loved and it's okay to feel wanted. And it wasn't easy because when I got with my husband, before we were even married, I gave him such a hard time because I was so closed in. I had a barrier up that I don't even know how he broke it down, because not one person that has come across my path that showed interest in me was able to break those bricks down and get into me, into my heart. And I'm grateful for that, because although I may have hurt my husband along the path, he taught me that it is okay to feel love from a man, that he's not going to hurt me, that he's not going to leave me. And I just wanted to come on here and talk about this because a lot of us, not even just women, a lot of us have been dealt fucked up cards. You know what I'm saying? We never know who our parents are going to be. We never know how our life is going to be when we enter this world. And I feel like we're so affected mentally. Not only does it affect us in our childhood, but it affects us as adults. We don't know what it's like to have both parents. We're missing something, and when you're missing something and you don't understand something and you don't have the answer for it, a lot of times we retaliate. A lot of times we try to find an scapegoat to numb our feelings, to numb our pain, to numb what we're feeling, because the feeling is so strong that we just want it to go away. But our mind is always running, and we always have these questions and we always have these thoughts. It took a while for me to really grasp it, and I'll be honest with you, till this day I still feel, and I I pray for my father. That's the only thing that I realize that I can do. You can't make a man change. You can't make anybody change unless they want to change it. The only thing that I could do is be who I am and express my thoughts to him, and whether he takes what I say and tries to make time to see me, that's on him. But I'm here to say that he's missing out on a lot of stuff. He doesn't even know a lot of things that go on with me. He doesn't know my favorite color. He doesn't know my weaknesses. He doesn't know my fears. He doesn't know my goals. The sad part about it is that he doesn't even care to ask. The things that I require don't cost money. And it's so sad that this world that we live in is like that, because there's so many babies that are created into this world that have to suffer because of their parents' immature ways. Their parents don't realize what it's actually doing to our brain, what it's actually doing to our mind, how it affects us, and how we blossom and how we grow into adults that are hurt. I'm so grateful that I was able to wake up and not let my father's lack thereof define who I am. Not let his mistakes and his absence make me into an angry person. Once I was able to forgive my father, I felt lighter. It stopped hurting so much. And I knew, and I said to myself, when I'm old enough and I have my own family, I will die trying to keep my family together so that my children have a mother and a father, so that I don't repeat the same cycle. I had to break the cycle. I didn't want to have my kids grow up and feel the same pain that I felt, and then I have to sit and talk to them, because I can only imagine how it feels when I would come to my mother crying, asking her why, and she didn't have an answer. She didn't have an answer to tell me. I feel like the hardest part for me dealing with my father's absence is Father's Day. Or I can say in the past tense, was for me. Right around that time, I would always get real angry. And I didn't really pay attention to it. I just figured I was just going through something. But self-consciously, I knew that next day was the day that everybody got to spend with their fathers and got to celebrate their fathers and jump on their fathers and hug their dads and, give them cards and just show them how much they love them. And for me, that day was just a wash, because I would wake up and the only person I would see was my mother. Honestly, my mother did the damn thing. She was my mother and my father, but I felt like that wasn't for her to do. I felt like that was such a big responsibility for her, being a single mother, taking care of 2 kids and having to play both roles. Why was it okay for my father to pop in and pop out whenever he wanted to, and that be okay just because he was there? But my mom had to take on the role and take care of us 24/7. I couldn't respect it. I still don't respect it. Any man that is able to just come in and please when they want to. Oh, it's your daughter's birthday, it's your son's birthday. Oh, I'm gonna give him a gift. Oh, just because it looks good. What about the time spent with your child? Did you take the child to the park? Did you help your child with the homework? Were you there when your child was sick? Did you pay for the medication? Did you get the diapers? That was what really lingered and really started to make me angry. Like, I was really angry on Father's Day. I was angry, and I would sit and I would cry. So once I would cry, then I would get angry, then I would cry again. I kind of was jealous of all the people that just had fathers. I just wouldn't go on no social medias. I didn't want to talk about it in school. It was just really embarrassing and very hurtful for me, because I didn't understand why I couldn't spend Father's Day with mine. But like I said, as I got older and I accepted the fact that this is what it was and I can't change him and this is who he is, and I was blessed enough to have my own family and have a husband that's an amazing father to our children, I knew God had a plan for me. I knew that this wasn't going to be the end for me. I knew that it was going to be a rainbow at the end of this storm that I was going through. And for a long time, even with my husband, I didn't know how to celebrate Father's Day. I would pick a fight with him right before Father's Day, and he wouldn't understand it, because he was looking for me to praise him and make him feel good. But I was so angry with my own feelings for my father. I didn't know how to express or shower or celebrate somebody else, because I never had the opportunity to shower my father. It was foreign to me. I didn't know how to do it, and just realized that I can't keep hurting people because I'm hurt. These people that are in my life for a reason, and they're here to help me, not to hurt me. So because my father has hurt me, that doesn't mean I need to take my hurt that my father has given me and give it to somebody else. That's a selfish move. Once I was able to get past that, I was able to celebrate my husband and get through Father's Day. And I'm not gonna sit here and say that Father's Day is still easy for me. It's still a struggle. And now I'm at the point in my life with my father where we kind of have some type of weird relationship. It's not where I see him every day, but the line of communication is still there with a, you know, a quick little text. But I realized that I'm never going to get that from him. And you know what? It's okay, because at the end of the day, I feel like people that don't know how to or don't want to change, they have to deal with that. They have their own demons. They have their own issues that they need to deal with. And although he has left wounds and scars on me, it just taught me. I learned from it. It made me a stronger person. And I took my pain and I flipped it into a positive. And I just wanted to share this with somebody, because we may not think it, because we're acting out, or we're angry, we're rebellious, we're getting in trouble with the law, we're fighting people, we're just being real aggressive. And a lot has to do with how you were raised in your household, your foundation. Your foundation as a child, it will dictate how you become as an adult. But just because you had an unfortunate upbringing and your life wasn't what you expected it to be, that doesn't mean that you need to repeat the same cycle. You want to do different. You want to change that. You want to break the cycle, because it's so easy to get caught up and repeat the same things that our parents did, because that's all we know. But once you're aware of what you don't want to do and how you felt and how that affected you in your life and your mental, then you're going to do something to change it. And change is sometimes very hard, because when you're used to the same routine, you're used to being angry, you're used to fighting, you're used to being aggressive, you're used to not giving an F. You know what I'm saying? You don't care. You have that I don't care attitude. And it's crazy that our parents are not mindful. They're not mindful of how it affects us as we grow up. Having your parents there for you to tell you that you got this, to encourage you, to build you up, to give you confidence and to love you, there's no love like that. So when you don't get that from a mother or a father, you feel so empty. If you don't have love from your parents, how can you love anybody? But I learned, and I feel like I've overcome it, and I'm able to forgive, and I'm able to accept. And it was so hard for me to accept the fact that I'll never have that daddy-daughter relationship like most people have. And there was times where I just would cry, because I yearned for my father. I just wanted time with him. I just wanted a hug from him. There was times where I wanted him to just beat a boyfriend up for me. Things that I just didn't want to go to my mom with. I wanted my father to be there to save me, to be my hero, to tuck me in. When I have a nightmare, be there to tell me it's okay, that daddy's there to protect you. Or just see my accomplishments of how far I've come. All the things that I have been through and how I have overcome them. And the woman that I am today. There's so many things about me that my father just doesn't know. And I don't think he'll ever know, because he doesn't try to find out. But honestly, I feel more sorry for him than I feel for me, because he's missing out on such a wonderful person, and that I could probably help him with so much, and we can help each other. But until he's ready to do that, there's nothing I can do about it. My heart is pure and I'm willing. And I hate to say it, it may sound crazy, but I'll probably die wanting that and hoping that my father will be the father that I need. Just spend more time with me and really get to know me so I can have that connection with him. But if not, at least I know that I was able to communicate it with him and let him know all the pain he has caused, and that I forgive him. And right there, that just made me feel much better, because I wasn't holding it in anymore. There were so many times that I didn't know where he was. I didn't have any communication with him. I didn't have his number. I don't even know where he lives. You know what I'm saying? He just literally just pops up when he pops up. And I kind of just take it like, well, at least I got to speak to him today. At least I got to see him, even though it was 5 minutes. You know what? I'm grateful for that, because it could be where I just didn't see it. I don't see him at all. So I take the little things and I appreciate it. And I pray for him. You know, I pray that he will understand where I'm coming from and, you know, try to build that bond with me. But if not, I'm just going to continue to be me and live my life the right way and not repeat the same mistakes as him. Everything that I am now is everything that he wasn't. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have the same type of issues, father, daddy issues, feel free to comment down below. Let me know what you're doing and how you deal with it. If you want to see more story times like this, comment that down below too. Subscribe, click the post notification so you're notified whenever I upload a video. And just know that it's their loss, not ours. Thank you guys so much for watching.